Hi everyone, I'm Zui and we are Group 7. Today we'll explore the critical differences between the European and US models of antitrust regulation, particularly in the context of big tech firms. As technology giants like Google and Facebook continue to dominate the market, understanding these regulatory frameworks becomes essential for ensuring fair competition and protecting consumer interests. Let's delve into how each region tackles these issues, highlighting key examples and the broader implications for the tech industry. Let's get started.
Hi everyone, my name is Wang Nam. So today I would like to focus your attention on a pressing issue in the tech industry, the dominance of big tech firms. And now I will tell you a small story about this. Okay, so once upon a time, it's not a fairy tale. Okay, so it must be okay. At the present time, big tech firms are dominating the market in the field. And most people use Facebook or Instagram, which belong to Meta, to connect with their friends. And they also use Google to search online and Amazon to shop ubiquitously. And these big tech firms use a strategy for preserving their monopoly positions is to eliminate competitors, especially smaller startups, to increase user numbers dramatically. Moreover, this firm also have methods to maintain their customer loyalty, such as not charging users for services like Meta and Google, or providing reasonable price, use user-friendly platforms, and unparalleled variety in retail like Amazon. However, in contrast, the new concepts, new laws, and regulation are made to protect and encourage competition by limiting the ability of dominant corporations to damage their smaller competitors and reduce consumer choice. And one conceptual shift should be to view these companies as platforms that connect audience and capture consumer time on site, rather than traditional businesses that sell products and services. And for this reasoning, possible solutions are to scrutinize big tech firms' mergers to prevent them from eliminating innovative rivals and further monopolizing user attentions. The second one is to break up existing giants into smaller and independent entities. And final one is to regulate them across antitrust, privacy, and taxation. And that is the situation. Next, to understand this case study more, we will show you some practice questions about it.
Hi, my name is Natang, and I will present to you the question: how does the first era of antitrust thinking differ from the second era? The first era of antitrust thinking from the 1890 to the 1950 was concerned with preventing monopolies and ensuring competition in markets. This era was marked by a series of laws passed by Congress, such as the Sherman Antitrust Act of 1890, which prohibited monopolies and restraints of trade. Antitrust regulators during this time focused on breaking up monopolies and stopping companies from engaging in behaviors that limited competition, such as predatory pricing. Additionally, there was a focus on dispersing economic and political power to prevent any one company from having too much control over a market. A key case from this era is the Rockefeller Company, Standard Oil Company. This company had become a monopoly in the oil industry, controlling everything from exploration and transportation to refining and distribution. This company used predatory pricing to drive competitors out of business, essentially selling oil below cost in some markets to force competitors to close down and then raising prices once they had monopoly. The Supreme Court ruled that Standard Oil was a monopoly and ordered it to be broken up into 34 separate companies. The second era of antitrust thinking, beginning in the 1960s and continuing to the present day, has taken a different approach. This era has focused on consumer welfare and lower prices as the main factors in antitrust cases. The belief is that competition leads to lower prices for consumers, and so antitrust enforcement should be aimed at protecting competition. Additionally, this era has viewed efficiency gains from mergers and large firms as beneficial, and there has been less scrutiny of big businesses and their practices. And this era has been criticized for allowing big tech companies like Amazon, Google, and Meta to become very large and powerful for stifling competition and reducing consumer choice. So, the two eras of antitrust thinking have taken very different approaches to regulating businesses. The first era was much more aggressive in breaking up monopolies and stopping companies from engaging in anti-competitive behavior. The second era has been more focused on consumer welfare and has been less likely to challenge big businesses. This shift in focus reflects a change in economic thinking as well as increasing complexity of the global economy.
Hi, my name is Hung, and I'll be answering question 2. What is a natural monopoly, and how has the United States dealt with a natural monopoly? First, a natural monopoly is a market structure where a single firm can produce the entire output for the market at a lower cost than if there were multiple firms. This is due to a significant economies of scale, where the average cost of production decreases as the firm's output increases. High fixed costs and substantial infrastructure investments characterize natural monopolies, making competition inefficient and economically unfeasible. Now, let's talk about how the US has coped with natural monopolies. So, in terms of regulation, government agencies such as the state public utility commissions regulate the prices charged by natural monopolies to prevent price gouging and ensure services remain affordable for consumers. For example, the price of electricity is often set or approved by a state regulatory body to reflect fair costs plus a reasonable return on investment. Also, regulatory bodies impose service quality standards to ensure reliability and safety. For instance, water utilities must comply with health and safety standards for drinking water to protect public health. Next, we have public ownership. The case study provides examples of municipal ownership of utilities, particularly water services. This model ensures that the utility operates with the public's best interest in mind, focusing on service quality and affordability rather than profit maximization. Another way to deal with natural monopolies has to do with the appearance of franchise monopolies. Local governments grant exclusive rights to a single firm to provide services within a specific geographic area. This approach maintains the efficiency of a natural monopoly while subjecting the firm to public oversight and regulatory conditions. For example, a single company might be granted the exclusive right to provide natural gas services in a city, but it must adhere to regulatory requirements regarding pricing and, of course, service quality. Lastly, the government may provide subsidies or financial incentives to natural monopolies to support infrastructure development and maintenance. This ensures continued investment in critical infrastructure without placing the entire financial burden on consumers. Okay, so that was my answer to question 2. Now let's move on to question 3.
Okay, so now we've moved to 3 possible solutions to the market dominance and anti-competitive behavior of Meta, Google, and Amazon, which is presented by me, Haling. Alright, so now let's come to the first solution, which is increase oversight of mergers. So one effective solution is to increase the scrutiny of proposed mergers to protect innovative small firms from being purchased. If these mergers would result in the dominant firm gaining larger audience and capturing more of the consumer's time, thereby denying this mind share from competitors. For instance, mergers like Meta purchase of WhatsApp could be prevented from this realm to ensure competitive landscape. Now we've moved to the next solution, which is break up monopoly companies into independent entities. Another solution is to break up larger companies such as Amazon, Meta, and Google into independent companies. Okay, so for example, Amazon could be divided into like 10 standalone companies, including a retail company, a website service company, a media company, and a logistic firm. Similarly, Meta could be split into companies focused on social networks, messaging, and virtual reality, while Google could be divided into a search advertising network, a computer hardware company, and a video sharing company. They would create a more competitive environment with numerous independent firms rather than three big oligopolies. Now let's move to the last solution, which is adopt the European regulatory model. So the European model focuses on the anti-competitive behavior of a large firm and use meaningful fine for violation. For instance, the European Union fined Google $5.1 billion in 2018 for managing smartphone markets to prioritize Google apps to retain the dominance of its search engine advertising business. And the model also includes measures like Digital Market Act (DMA), which aims at preventing gatekeeper platforms from exploiting their interlocked data and services to log in user and scratch potential rival, and the adoption of such regulatory framework in the US could provide a robust solution to curbing the dominance of big tech firms and ensuring a competitive market environment. So that is my presentation.
Hi guys, I'm Angzui, and now let's answer question 4 of the case with me. The question is, how does the European model of antitrust issues differ from that of the US? Okay, so the European one differs from the US one in several key ways. Firstly, the European approach emphasizes the overall structure of the market and the presence of competition rather than solely focusing on consumer prices and economic efficiency. This model aims to ensure a competitive environment where new, innovative firms can enter the market and thrive. For example, the European Commission has taken action against Google for promoting its own services in search results at the expense of competitors. Secondly, European regulators scrutinize and penalize behaviors that restrict competition. For example, the European Commission has fined Google for abusing its market dominance by promoting its own services over those of competitors. The next point is the remedies and regulations. The European model imposes substantial fines and mandates structural changes to prevent anti-competitive practices. For instance, Google was fined for its practices related to Android and Google Shopping and was required to separate certain services to ensure fair competition. Besides, it also has comprehensive regulation. Unlike the US model, which often focuses on consumer prices and efficiency, the European approach involves comprehensive regulation that covers antitrust issues broadly. This holistic view seeks to ensure fair competition and consumer choice beyond just price considerations. In contrast, the US model has historically focused on economic efficiency and consumer prices. Practices such as vertical integration and price competition have been viewed favorably if they lead to lower prices for consumers. Besides, the US has adopted a mostly hands-off attitude towards regulating the internet and the concentration of market power in big tech, aiming to promote innovation and economic growth. Recently, there's been growing bipartisan support in the US for addressing big tech's market power, focusing on issues like privacy and anti-competitive practices. However, significant changes in laws and regulations are needed to align more closely with the European model. Overall, the European model is broader and more proactive in addressing the structural aspects of competition and market dominance, while the US model has traditionally been more focused on consumer prices and economic efficiency, though this is now evolving with increasing scrutiny on big tech firms. So, in conclusion, while both the European and US antitrust models aim to curb the power of big tech firms, they differ significantly in their approaches. Europe's proactive stance emphasizes the market structure and competition with substantial fines and structural remedies, whereas the US has historically focused on economic efficiency and consumer prices. And as the tech landscape evolves, it's clear that a balanced approach incorporating elements from both models could potentially offer a robust solution to maintaining fair competition. Thank you for your attention and feel free to ask questions and leave comments below. Thank you.